Welcome, investors. Today, we're going to look past the day-to-day noise of the price charts. We are diving deep into the on-chain data, the stuff that's actually verifiable on the blockchain. We're here to decode what it's really telling us about the market's health and, more importantly, its next big move.
So let's jump right in. Now, on the surface, things might look a little quiet, maybe even boring. But believe me, the on-chain metrics are painting a completely different picture. There's a story of a fundamental shift happening right under our noses.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with where the market is right now, at this quiet crossroads. Then we'll look at how a new foundation is being built. After that, we'll get into investor sentiment, take on what I'm calling the great ETF wall, and finally, put it all together for Bitcoin's big test. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the foundation. Over the past month, we've seen a really dramatic shift in the market structure, and honestly, this is where our story really begins.
This slide really shows a critical transformation. Just a month ago, the on-chain data was flashing a huge warning sign, a massive liquidity void right below the price. Think of it like a dangerous pocket of air. One little slip could have meant a very rapid, very ugly fall. But look at today. That void has been systematically filled in, creating what I can only describe as a fortress of support, something we just haven't seen before in this price range.
So we have this strong foundation, right? But that's only half the story. A strong market structure needs to be validated by what investors are actually doing. So let's dig into the current sentiment to understand who's really driving this market. You know, after a $10,000 price recovery from the recent lows, you would absolutely expect a huge wave of retail FOMO, that fear of missing out. But, and this is the interesting part, the on-chain sentiment data is showing us the exact opposite is happening.
And this data, which we've pulled from major social media platforms, proves it. Look at that. Sentiment is overwhelmingly neutral, and a pretty big chunk is still fearful. There's practically no greed, no FOMO. What this tells us is that the recent strength we've seen isn't being fueled by retail hype. It's being driven by a much quieter, more deliberate class of buyer. And here is the smoking gun. While the crowd is sitting on the sidelines, a staggering 72,000 Bitcoin were withdrawn from major exchanges in a single day. This is one of the largest outflows we've seen in months. Let me be clear. This isn't panic selling. This is a powerful signal of large-scale accumulation, as sophisticated investors are moving their assets into cold storage for the long haul. Okay, so we've established a strong support base, and we have clear evidence of quiet, smart money accumulation. But now, we have to look up at the primary challenge ahead, this massive wall of resistance that's been built by the new spot Bitcoin ETFs.
Let's break this climb down. The path forward has a couple of key checkpoints. The first hurdle is right around $74,000. That's the average buy-in price for Fidelity's ETF. But the final boss battle, that's at $83,000. This is the aggregate cost basis, the average entry price for all the new ETFs combined. If the price can push past that level, it would put a massive amount of institutional capital into profit, and that would be a powerfully bullish signal.
All right, let's bring all these puzzle pieces together. We've got the foundation, we've got the sentiment, and we've got the resistance. Now let's put this all together into a clear, actionable conclusion for your strategy. So, to quickly summarize our findings, the market's internal structure has completely solidified, turning a dangerous void into a strong floor. And all of this happened without any retail hype. It was driven by significant smart money accumulation. The stage is set, but now the market is about to face its most significant external test yet. This is the key takeaway. If you remember one thing, it's this. All the on-chain data we've looked at points to this single price zone. The battle for control of this market, the validation of this new support, and the signal for the next major leg up, it is all going to be decided right here at the break-even point for all those new ETF investors.
The evidence we have strongly suggests that the market is quietly and methodically building strength from the ground up, but its ability to absorb the selling pressure at that great ETF wall, that's going to be the ultimate tell. The on-chain signals have defined the battlefield. Now we just have to watch to see who wins the war. Thanks for your time.